Hey, this is Healthful. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jade.
So grab a tea and let's get started.
We can put like spooky music.
Yeah.
That goes over the top, like that, you know that woo.
Guys, we have a really special episode today brought to you by Spookiness.
Oh my god.
Because it's almost Halloween.
Oh my god. Not that that's really a huge thing in Australia, but
I think it should be. Like, who cares if it's more American? It's so much fun.
it is. Yeah.
And I love paranormal shit. I love it.
Me too. I used to watch so much Ghost Hunters and, you know, those kind of shows where they actually hunted for ghosts.
So
and when
cool.
they found stuff.
Yeah, and you're like, and you couldn't
They're
sleep at night.
real.
Oh, the adrenaline. Like, that's why I love scary movies, because I love the adrenaline that comes with, you know, like, feeling like terrified.
Yes.
And,
Exactly.
Oh, God, I love
Exactly.
it. Okay, please, you have to tell me every single paranormal experience you've ever had.
Okay, so I haven't had like a lot, but I remember very, very vividly. I would have been in primary school sort of age, like I'm thinking I might have been 6 or 7, and we lived in this apartment, and it was quite an old building, you know, and I remember I was walking down the hallway, and out of the corner of my eye, so the laundry is in the corner, so I walked past the laundry and there was no lights on or anything, and I remember out of the corner of my eye, there was this like kind of shadow figure, almost like, not shadow figure is probably the right word to use, but I could see someone in there from the corner of my eye. So what I saw, I know it's pretty creepy.
It was my mum.
I was like, oh, no. So what I saw was, so we had a laundry trough and we had the washing, like a top loader washing machine in the corner. And I could see this, what looked like a bigger old man. So he was kind of hunched over. He had, I remember it being like a tartan dressing gown on, and he had slippers, and he was leaning over into the washing machine like he was doing his laundry. And
It's like even in like death, he was still
He
like,
was still-
I gotta wash my clothes.
looking after himself, you know, bless him. And like, I remember, obviously I did a double take and it was all gone. But I do remember, that's why I don't really want to call it a shadow figure, because I remember it was almost like black and white.
Yeah.
But for some reason, maybe it's just because I'm thinking of tartan and tartan's got red in it, that I could just see like almost like a
Interesting that you
grayscale.
could see colour, because
Like,
like
yeah.
I've never seen colour in like my ghostly
Really?
experiences.
So what have you had happen to you?
Like, I haven't had like anything big like that. It's been kind of more like little snippets of like weird spooky things. For example, this one time I was at my mum's house, and it was a new house that she'd bought up in the hills of Cairns, and it was a beautiful, like very big garden house. It was this tiny little cottage on 5 acres of garden. And I was there with my partner at the time, and I know that they were in my bedroom, and I was like looking in the fridge. Anyway, so I was leaning over, looking in the fridge, and I saw someone standing behind me. It looked like just like a dark shape. I just knew someone was standing behind me. I assumed it was them. So I turned up, like I stood up to turn around to say like, oh, what do you want? Like, are you hungry or something? Then I noticed them come out of my bedroom, and I was like, who the hell was just standing behind me? And it's happened so many times that I've seen shapes, and like I know that there's someone there, and I can see a dark shape, but I don't know who it is.
Oh my God.
Like, I had another time where I was living with I call her my auntie, because you know, I've known her most of my life, and she's my mum's best friend. And I'd just come home from work one night, and my car used to be in the garage. This was only a few years ago. Anyway, so I went into the garage to get something out of my car, and on the corner of my right eye, I saw someone like in the corner. It was like this dark creature, and like I just got covered in chills, and it wasn't a good, like sometimes when I see them, I'm not really scared. I'm just like, oh, like I'm just like, there's someone there. But this one, I was like, I'm scared.
Oh.
Like, and I felt my heart start beating faster.
Wow.
I then went out to my auntie, and I knew she believes in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's something in the garage. There's something in the garage. Like, it's there. And she's just like, I've been seeing it all day.
Oh God.
And so she literally just got out sage, and she started saging the whole house. She was saging me, and like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But it was terrifying, because it was just like she went into this zone of like, we need to get this out of the house, because it felt dark. It felt like not a good spirit. And I find myself quite an intuitive person, and I notice if something's not right, and like I've been to places and I'm like, I shouldn't be here. I need to leave right now.
Yep. You get that sense.
It's almost like a sense. I don't have like these ghostly experiences where like I see someone
They
who's like,
touch me.
ooh.
Like the sheet in the corner starts moving and wooing at you. Not like that.
I'm like, Jade, get off the ground. And like I've heard lots of stories. So I used to live in the Northern Territory. Mm-hmm. And Aboriginal people, I used to live in Aboriginal communities, and they're very superstitious people. Yep. That's a very big part of their culture, and is believing in spirits. And it's not like this whole like woo-woo thing. Mm. It's past elders that still
It's like a respect
thing. It's a respect thing. Obviously not to like go into it too much because I don't know everything, but I remember this story from one of our friends. He was a tour guide. And he used to take people from Alice Springs to Uluru, and on the way, because it's a 4-hour drive, a lot of people don't know that. Alice Springs to Uluru, it's very far.
Close. Nope.
And halfway you get to Mount Connor, and Mount Connor is this huge, like big, it kind of looks a little bit like Uluru. People always get confused. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a different type of rock formation altogether. But it kind of looks like a toothbrush. Anyway. They'd camp in front of this Mount Connor. Anyway, so one night he was there and there was this group of people, and they would always have their campfire in the middle, and all of their swags would be like around the fire, facing in. One night he literally had like this group, and it was a couple of young women, and he woke up the next morning and all of these women were really, really freaked out. And he was like, that's really strange. Like, what's going on? And apparently what had happened is they'd felt their swags being dragged away from the fire in the middle of the night. And other women said that they saw like these Aboriginal men that were like standing there over them. Like, you know, like pretty much it was like their warning, like you shouldn't be here.
Well, should they have been there?
No. I think it was quite a culturally significant place, so therefore they shouldn't have been there. After that, safe to say they didn't go back, because that is your biggest warning sign. That's the spirits and the ancestors telling you don't belong here. You shouldn't be here.
Oh, that's pretty freaky.
But it freaks me out.
Wow. I have another story. Tell me. It wasn't to do with me, but it was people close to me, and I remember someone had passed away from a really terrible cancer, and we all kind of had a part in looking after them and that sort of thing. So it was really, really sad, but obviously better for the person. And so, again, I wasn't there, but two of the people were in the workplace, and they're just chit-chatting away. Next minute, one of them has screamed, and the other one's obviously like, what? And they both looked into, like, say, the corner of the room. And there was this little boy just standing in the corner with a, say for example, it's like a red t-shirt, blue shorts, and he's just waving at them, like smiling and waving. I know it's always creepy with children. But, this was kind of, when you understand the whole situation, it was actually quite a nice thing, because...
Was it the child who'd passed away?
Yeah, but this was an adult. So that's
creepier.
When you go to a funeral, you get the booklet with the picture of the person and their life, and obviously the running of events. And there was a picture of this person who passed away as a child, and it was the child that they saw in the room waving at them. So it was like he was saying thank you and goodbye. Like it was this weird kind of creepy, but also
nice, but terrifying. But nice, but no.
And that particular building that they saw the spirit of this little boy in, is quite, I wouldn't say super well known for that kind of activity, but it used to be a doctor's surgery at some point. Right. And they'd had obviously people pass in there, and it was quite often that people did see other people, or, spirits.
I often wonder about these places, that there's a lot of, like sightings where people experience a lot of like extraterrestrial or paranormal stuff. And I'm like, I wonder if this has anything to do with the universe. Like, are these holes in reality where it's easier for these people to pass over? Or is there some sort of like cultural significance? Like, is this a place with a lot of energy that, people are? Or is it something, a lot of tragic stuff has happened here?
I go for the energy belief. Like, to me, it makes sense that when something really dramatic happens in a place, let's say the house burns down and you have people that passed in it, and it was set by someone, it was set intentionally, or maybe it was by accident, but people were not quite ready to leave. And to me, that makes sense. Like, I don't care.
It almost creates like a little, like a blip in, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know. But where people are actually able to visit it, because there's like a blip, a rip even, a rip in...
They haven't quite... It's like limbo. They talk about limbo with death, and it's like a place that they can't get out of because nothing's been resolved, like cycle-wise.
They're confused. Like, I've often wondered if people don't pass over because they're not actually sure they've died.
Yeah, like they're living that, what's that word? Like parallel type universe thing. Like they're in the living, but they're obviously, their soul is still present on the earth when it shouldn't be.
Because I'm a huge vitalistic person. I completely believe in the soul. I think it's something that it's not as simple as, great, you die and then that's it. You're gone. That's it. Full stop. End of story. We have so much energy in a life. A person can have so much energy. How can it just be that it's just lights out?
Yeah.
Gone.
Well, I have a lot of patients who are very spiritual, and that's, I think, is weird that I attract a lot of those people, because I guess
it's your energy.
It's my energy that brings them in. But like, they'll have lots of different personal theories on the whole life cycle, and I have one in particular. I talk at length to her about this when she comes in for her appointments. She always talks about her soul journey, and it's about how, like, every physical life you have here on the earth, there's a certain, number of those, that there's a lesson that soul has to learn.
So she believes that you go through like reincarnation.
Yeah, exactly. And you keep doing that until your work is done.
Whoa.
So I don't know how she knows this. Like, I don't know, some people might think this is bullshit, this is woo-woo, but she knows in herself that she's got one more life left, like as in one more soul journey to go through. So she'll get born after this current life, she'll get born again into another one, and that's it.
Whoa.
And she often says things like her daughter, who's also quite intuitive and spiritual, this is her last life.
Oh my god.
Like, for her soul, obviously. Like, that sounds really terrible when we say this is your last life, but from a soul purpose, her work is done. That's
really fascinating, because, like, how people say, like, I'm an old soul? I think that there's obviously two different definitions that they mean by that. By that, you mean that, your soul's had a lot of lives, you've been reincarnated a lot of times, or you just like old people things.
Yeah, like, I like going to bed early.
I like having blankets on my lap
tea.
And knitting.
We love tea.
Yeah, good old tea.
But yeah, like, otherwise, I haven't really sort of experienced too many other things myself. I guess I haven't really been in any other positions or...
haven't forced yourself into that situation.
Yeah.
See, I once did force myself into a situation.
You didn't? What happened?
Well, look, this was when I was much younger, and I thought it was a good idea to dabble in the supernatural. So me and my friends, when I was in year 12, decided that we were going to... We printed out a Ouija board.
Oh, no, you didn't.
We literally made like
Just
a paper Ouija board, and we thought it was a great idea to take it to a graveyard.
Oh, God.
Which is so dumb. Now I know I would never ever do that. That's like messing with stuff that you should not be messing with.
Maybe that's that spirit thing that you were talking about that was kind of potentially following you.
It probably started there.
Yeah.
Because we went to this graveyard at nighttime. It was in a dodgy area of Cairns as well. So we probably would have got murdered for a lot of different reasons. But we were like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're really stupid. Let's do it. So we literally went to this graveyard, and we were just walking through, and we saw this little like gazebo that we were going to set up in. Then all of a sudden, as we were walking back towards this gazebo, we were all really quiet because we were just sort of chatting. And then all of a sudden we heard this crying. And it was just this woman crying. And we all kind of just paused, looked at each other, and just ran and just sprinted for like dear life all the way to the car. And we just like got in the car and were so terrified. All of us were just like, it must have been, a mourner, someone who was just, at their...
But if this was at night...
It was nighttime, and one of my friends was like, no, guys, like, I stayed behind to work out what it was. I couldn't see anyone. There was no one around, and it sounded like it was right next to us. And that just, honestly, we were like, okay, never again.
No.
We're not doing that.
Burn that shit.
Absolutely. And I wonder sometimes if I maybe introduced something into my life.
You could have. That's why I was thinking, like, when you said that your previous story about that dark entity thing that you just, like, obviously it didn't do anything malicious to you.
I've seen it a lot throughout my life, though.
Yeah. Like,
I've seen it a lot, even before then.
Recurrent thing.
Like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I remember having this dream, and it's weird because it didn't feel like a dream, but I was lying in my childhood bedroom, and I was lying on my back, and every single time I have a scary dream, it's like this weird light. It's not day and it's not nighttime. It's like this weird sort of dusk. It kind of looks like like campfire, like, or
Yep.
smoke
Yep.
sitting over a sun. So it's really creepy, like orange tones. So I'm lying on my bed and I'm like stuck on my bed and I'm looking up in the corner and there's this dark shape
Oh, God.
crawled up in the corner and it's looking at me, and every time I blink it moves and it gets closer.
This sounds like something that's happening in a movie,
Oh,
you know?
it was horrible. And I woke, and like as I woke up it was like right in front of my face. And it's like, I always see something similar to that dark shape if I do see something. And I'm like, what is that?
I think you need like a cleanse or something.
I need an exorcism. Ooh, now that would be for the podcast.
Oh, right.
Emma gets exercise. And not that kind of exercise. Me just trying to avoid exercise altogether is literally me just getting an actual exorcism.
It's like this mistitlement sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a ton of people, like our listeners, that have their own creepy stories.
I really want to know it. Like,
I know.
please, everyone submit it. I love this stuff.
DM us, please. I want to
Please
know.
tell us all your scary stories. I collect them like it's I just love it. I just love it.
And it, like, for me, I think it kind of confirms that belief that there is more than just like
physical.
Yeah, like, because I mean, I've definitely had moments where, let's say, something's moved, or you swear you didn't put it there or whatever, and you go,
or you just know something. It's happened to me so often that I'll just know something and I don't know how I know it, but I'm right. And
but you don't know whether that's like, say, a intuitive thing, or if it is something creepy that you're like, did something just tell me that?
Yeah,
or,
like, how do I know that? Like, was there something whispering in my... Oh, now I'm scared.
Okay, now we're... Yeah, luckily this is the daytime and we're not doing this at nighttime.
I'm fine. I'm not going to sleep tonight, but it's fine.
Oh, God. But please DM us. We want to know...
I want to know everything.
Yep.
Everything.
All the scary stories.
The scarier, the better.
Yep. All the live experiences. Like, I don't know anyone who's been, like, physically scratched or, you know, that kind of shit. But
that's demonic, though. I mean, if we're talking,
creepy.
like, that's, like, actual something very, very dark.
Yep.
What I think I have, I don't think it's that dark.
I don't think so, no. Like
I think it's something.
Yeah, like, it didn't ever maliciously hurt you or anything like that.
No.
As far as you're
theory.
aware.
I have a theory, but I don't know. Who knows?
Oh.
Maybe we'll dive into it at some point.
Do some more research.
Can we have this like a yearly thing?
A yearly
I
Halloween
love
special.
spooky episodes. Yes, absolutely. I
Or maybe
love
even on like the Day of the Dead and stuff. We like talk about that stuff as well.
Yeah, I like it. This was a good one. I'm proud of us, Jade. This was a good
Short
episode.
and sweet, guys.
Short and sweet.
but-
Wrap it up. Send us your messages, please.
But we thought we'd just jump on because it's, you know, in the theme of Halloween, just like talk about something a bit creepy, and it's not health related, we're sorry, but in a spiritual sense, I think it's kind of relevant because
It could be affecting my health.
well, that's right.
You never know.
That's
If you
exactly
believe in
right.
it, it could be true.
That's so true. Oh gosh, I won't sleep tonight.
Background ASMR, not only are we podcasting, but we're also like
It's real
ASMR
live.
channel.
Yeah.
Quick, where are the dogs?
Hashtag ASMR.
We'll just add it to the byline.
Oh, absolutely. It services every need for every listener, right?